worry about those who sold their souls to devils in human flesh, all the Negroes who helped them. I don't have to do anything to them in any way. Yet, their lives will never be the same, and as for the Caucasus who set up this plot, well, you will see their world of power and rule come down, little by little. The fact is, they're the Adamites, Edomites, ruddy, blush pink, pale race, Hebrew Strong's 119-132, the Canaanite, Caucasus seed, own books of Lawi Tananu, Leviathan, Torah, Gospel and Quran speaks of their end. As fallen is fallen, and it says in Deuteronomy 7:22, little by little. So as we know, they were given 6,000 years from 4000 BCE. In the Torah, Genesis 1:26-28, you will the word Radah, Hebrew Strong's 7287, meaning dominion, rule, reign, subjugate. Genesis 1:26-28, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. You also see this point in Quran 2:36, Ilihinin, meaning for while. Quran 2:36, so the devil, serpent beguiled them and made them slip, so we drove them out, and we said, get far away, down from here, Adam, the devil and his fallen angels, some of you will be enemies to, and for a while the earth shall be a residence and provide for you. So you see this Adam, ruddy earthling, was given a while on earth to be evil with enmity, Genesis 3:15, for a while, and that time of rule ended in 2000 AD, yet, they will fade slowly or little by little, not all at once on that day back in 2000 AD. Yet from then, you've seen them self-destruct, as it says by 3 words in Revelation 18:2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. They are devils trapped in the cage of this physical world as specters, ghosts, foul and unclean spirits, unable to move on. As each of their religions begin, it's in the beginning was the Word, in John 1:1, or and God said, in Genesis 1:3, or read, in Quran 96:1. So each of the Mesopotamian religions of a man they call Abram, Abraham and Ibrahim start with its word. So when their end came, it was also triggered by a word out of the mouth of the little dragon or skull and bones man, George Walker Bush. Look up the word Bush in the Hebrew Strong's 954, and you will see, the Hebrew, Chaldea letters BW and SH. In Chaldees or Phoenician the word means ashamed, disappointed, delayed, that is what he, the little dragon and his father, George Herbert Walker Bush, the big dragon or hell's fireman, president from 1989 to 1993 AD, and Little Bush or Burning Bush under New Mount Sinai, Washington, Washaitan, Sin, Zion, Sion, Zuin, Sun, Nan Nar. He became president in 2001 AD. Well, he triggered their end on 9/11/2001 AD. You see Revelation chapter 9 verse 11, 9/11 to date 9/11/2001 AD. This is what it says, and they had a kinsman, king, ruler, president over them, which is the messenger, angel, Moloch of the abyss, hell's fire club, the bottomless pit, abyss, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Hebrew Strong's 11, Abaddon, destruction, fallen, but in the Greek tongue is Hebrew Strong's 623, Apollyon, destruction, destroyer, fallen. So that is the Torah of one part of their religion, the Old Covenant, Hebrews 8:1-13, and Gospel of the Second New Covenant, Hebrews 9:1-5, of their religions. The word kova from Old English for kova, cave. In their Quran it is chapter 18, Al-Kahf, the cave, and the Quran 2:130 says the Muslims must follow Ibrahim's religion, so the third and final word is Abu Dayan, father of judgment. About the beast man being up in the caves. These 3 words triggered their self-destruction as you see from 9/11/2001 AD, and it will only get worse. They will start fights they can't win, destroy their worldwide respect and self-destruct, while nature by the weather will also be at work. When a people's time to end has come, nothing and no one can stop it. Their time has come, and those world over or here in New Babylon, who follow them and receive their mark on them, will end up in the lake of fire with them. Little by little, you will see it come to pass. Now, who will be saved? Revelations chapter 11 says in verse 1 and 2, when the rod and reed comes, measure, that is, look at and count those inside the temple with you, who keep up worship, yet those who were in, but left or heard and did not come, called the court, or people, Negaru Negroids which are without or outside the temple, Wu-Sabat, leave out. Don't worry about them, they will be left behind and don't count or measure them as one of you. Why? Because, they have given their souls unto the heathens, Caucasus world. So, as for those who knew of Wu-Sabat and were Sabians, yet left, walked away, betrayed, slandered and gossiped about us, they will be a part of the beast, Revelation 9:20-21, and will become food for their God, Allah, Jah, Yahweh, Dios, Revelation 19:18. Look them up, read them. They make their own choice, Revelation 19:18, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. Our own Salal, race, Negaru Negroids can be reformed, yet for the Caucasus race or Kaanu Hebrews Strong's 3667, Canaanites, Akamahu, Pleiadians, came to one of them in New York, a being called Moroni from one of the planets called Kolob, which is from Hebrews Strong's 3611, Caleb, K9, dog. This Hebrews Strong's 4432, Moloch, Moroni by name was their last chance, all Caucasus were to accept Mormonism. This same Moloch visited the so-called first Euro President George Washington, 1789 to 1797. He also told them he was visited while in the forest by a being from Pleiades in his personal letters. You can look it up. In the National Tribune, 1880, an article appeared, giving an account of the vision of Washington at Valley Forge. The account was told by a gentleman named Anthony Sherman, who supposedly was at Valley Forge during the winter of 1777 to 78. The story has been published several times. Some people will say that it is substantiated by the fact that a copy of the account is in the Library of Congress. This argument of authenticity is misleading in and of itself. The Library of Congress has copies of anything published. That does not indicate accuracy of the content. I am unaware of any 18th century evidence that corroborates this story. The soldier mentioned as having a first-hand account of the vision, Anthony Sherman, was a soldier in the Continental Army. However, according to his pension application, written by him, he states that he was at Saratoga under the command of Benedict Arnold at the end of 1777 and only joined the main forces in 1778 in New Jersey, just before the Battle of Monmouth. Anthony Sherman wrote, "You doubtless heard the story of Washington's going to the thicket to pray in secret for aid and comfort from God, the interposition of whose divine providence brought us safely through the darkest days of tribulation. One day, I remember it well, when the chilly winds whistled through the leafless trees, though the sky was cloudless and the sun shone brightly, he remained in his quarters nearly all the afternoon alone. When he came out, I noticed that his face was a shade paler than usual. There seemed to be something on his mind of more than ordinary importance. Returning just after dusk, he dispatched an orderly to the quarters who was presently in attendance. After a preliminary conversation of about an hour, Washington, gazing upon his companion with that strange look of dignity which he alone commanded, related the event that occurred that day. George Washington's vision, this afternoon, as I was sitting at this table engaged in preparing a dispatch, something seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld standing opposite me a singularly beautiful female. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, that it was some moments before I found language to inquire the cause of her presence. A second, a third and even a fourth time did I repeat my question, but received no answer from my mysterious visitor except a slight raising of her eyes. By this time I felt strange sensations spreading through me. I would have risen, but the riveted gaze of the being before me rendered volition impossible. I essayed once more to address her, but my tongue had become useless, as though it had become paralyzed. A new influence, mysterious, potent, irresistible, took possession of me. All I could do was to gaze steadily, vacantly at my unknown visitor. Gradually the surrounding atmosphere seemed as if it had become filled with sensations, and luminous. Everything about me seemed to rarefy, the mysterious visitor herself becoming more airy and yet more distinct to my sight than before. I now began to feel as one dying, or rather to experience the sensations which I have sometimes imagined accompany dissolution. I did not think, I did not reason, I did not move, all were alike impossible. I was only conscious of gazing fixedly, vacantly at my companion. Presently I heard a voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn," while at the same time my visitor extended her arm eastwardly. I now beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance rising fold upon fold. This gradually dissipated, and I looked upon a stranger scene. Before me lay spread out in one vast plain the countries of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America, the billows of the Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. Son of the Republic, said the same mysterious voice as before, look and learn. At that moment I beheld a dark, shadowy being, like an angel, standing or rather floating in mid-air, between Europe and America. Dipping water out of the ocean in the hollow of each hand, he sprinkled some upon America with his right hand, while with his left hand he cast some on Europe. Immediately a cloud raised from these countries, and joined in mid-ocean. For a while it remained stationary, and then moved slowly westward, until it enveloped America in its murky folds. Sharp flashes of lightning gleamed through it at intervals, and I heard the smothered groans and cries of the American people. Second time the angel dipped water from the ocean, and sprinkled it out as before. The dark cloud was then drawn back to the ocean, in whose heaving billows and sank from view. A third time I heard the mysterious voice saying, Son of the Republic, look and learn. I cast my eyes upon America and beheld villages and towns and cities springing up one after another until the whole land from the Atlantic to the Pacific was dotted with them. Again, I heard the mysterious voice say, Son of the Republic, the end of the century cometh, look and learn. At this the dark shadowy angel turned his face southward, and from Africa I saw an ill-omened specter approach our land. It flitted slowly over every town and city of the latter. The inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued looking I saw a bright angel, on whose brow rested a crown of light, on which was traced the word Union, bearing the American flag which he placed between the divided nation, and said, Remember ye are brethren. Instantly, the inhabitants, casting from them their weapons, became friends once more, and united around the national standard. And again I heard the mysterious voice saying, Son of the Republic, look and learn. At this the dark, shadowy angel placed a trumpet to his mouth, and blew 3 distinct blasts, and taking water from the ocean, he sprinkled it upon Europe, Asia, and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these countries arose thick, black clouds that were soon joined into one. Throughout this mass there gleamed a dark red light by which I saw hordes of armed men, who, moving with the cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America. Our country was enveloped in this volume of cloud, and I saw these vast armies devastate the whole county and burn the villages, towns and cities that I beheld springing up. As my ears listened to the thundering of the cannon, clashing of sword, and the shouts and cries of millions in mortal combat, I heard again the mysterious voice saying, Son of the Republic, look and learn. When the voice had ceased, the dark shadowy angel placed his trumpet once more to his mouth, and blew a long and fearful blast. Instantly a light as of 1,000 suns, shone down from above me, and pierced and broke into fragments the dark cloud which enveloped America. At the same moment the angel upon whose head still shone the word Union, and who bore our national flag in one hand and a sword in the other, descended from the heavens attended by legions of white spirits. These immediately joined the inhabitants of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately taking courage again, closed up their broken ranks and renewed the battle. Again, amid the fearful noise of the conflict, I heard the mysterious voice saying, Son of the Republic, look and learn. As the voice ceased, the shadowy angel for the last time dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly the dark cloud rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. Then once more I beheld the villages, towns and cities springing up where I had seen them before, while the bright angel, planting the azure standard he had brought in the midst of them, cried with a loud voice, While the stars remain, and the heavens send down dew upon the earth, so long shall the Union last. And taking from his brow the crown on which blazoned the word Union, he placed it upon the standard while the people, kneeling down, said, Amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and I, at last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapor I had first beheld. This also disappearing, I found myself once more gazing upon the mysterious visitor, who, in the same voice I had heard before, said, Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearful is the third, but in this greatest conflict the whole world united shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the Republic learn to live for his God, his land and the Union. With these words the vision vanished, and I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein had been shown to me the birth, progress, and destiny of the United States. So you had a George, the first Euro president, and a George the last Euro president marking their end. They rejected Mormonism, killed their prophet Joseph Smith Jr., Revelation 11:7-8, and that he was their last hope to be saved. Mormonism is the salvation of Euro-Americans. The prophet Joseph Smith, they killed their prophet. He was in New Zion, New York, and received gold tablets from Anunnaki, a last hope they rejected. New York is Sodom and Egypt in one. Most don't know this, and those who do know will never tell them about their religions or the actual facts. And what is all this about? Well, it is kind of funny you see. Before George Washington, the first Euro president of this land, 1789 to 1797 AD, there is said there was a Negroid president, one of many. It's said he was named John Hanson, 1781 to 1782. And now after the last Euro president George Bush, 2001 to 2009, you have a Negroid president named Barack Obama, elected 2009 AD. Yet, it's not really funny at all. It's all religious. Remember, thought externalizes itself. What we are depends entirely upon the images we hold before our mind's eye. Every time we think, we start a chain of causes which will create conditions, effects, similar to the thoughts which originated it. Every thought we hold in our consciousness for any length of time becomes impressed upon our subconscious mind and creates a pattern which the mind then weaves into our life or environment. All power that we seek is from within and is therefore under our control, once we learn to discipline our minds. When you are able to direct your thought processes, you can consciously apply them to any condition, for all comes to us from the world outside of us, from what we've already visualized in the world within, our minds. Do you desire more money? Sit down quietly right now and begin to realize with your mind's eye, that money is merely an idea. That your mind is possessed of unlimited ideas, that being part of universal mind, there is no such thing as limitation or lack. That somewhere, somehow, the ideas that shall bring you all the money you need for any right purpose are available for you. That all you have to do is send the thought frequency to your subconscious mind to find the supreme answer for you. Realize it, know it, and your needs will be met. Whatever things you desire, when you ask for it from your ancient ancestral forces, know that you will receive it. They are linked to you, linked to all of us through our right minds, subconscious minds. Ask and ye shall receive. Know that as African people we can heal the world. We have done it before and now we will do it again. It's overdue time for all the good people to come. Use the gift of your mind, the power of creative visualization, where you create pictures and whole movies in your mind of what you desire to manifest. As long as it is positive and in alignment with Almighty Nature, Netaru, know that it will manifest. For the source of all good, of everything you wish for, is the universal mind, the all-in-all, Pa-Poot, and you can reach all-Poot only through your subconscious mind. And universal mind will be whatever you see it to be. See a world of freedom, a world that allows you to express the deity mind that you truly have, a world that has peace, no sickness, no discomfort, no disease, a world of facts and confirmations, and a world of ancient royalty, a world where African people all over are back in our rightful place as mothers and fathers of all world civilizations. You have the mind of a deity. Now is the time to learn how to use it. Can you see the vision? When we begin to realize with our mind's eye, the real I, that our minds are part of the universal mind, the all-Pa-Poot, and through our DNA and minds we are connected to all, then we realize that we have direct access to our ancestors who are waiting to help us, and we have direct access to all. With this realization, all worry, all fear fades away. The inner realization that first you exist, then if you exist, all that came from you also exists, leading back to the very source of creation. You are truly connected to all, and in knowing this reality you begin to ask yourself, since all life started in Africa, and I am connected to Africa through my DNA, then it reasons out that I am all life and the source of all life.